Hello guys, welcome to the second part of the e-commerce app UI tutorial. In my previous tutorial, I have shown you how to create this welcome screen, and then I have shown you how to create this login screen and the sign up screen. And then I have shown you how to create this home screen. So here you can see this is the home screen of this e-commerce app, and then I have shown you how to create this bottom tab navigator. So these are the things which I have shown you in my previous tutorial, and in this tutorial I am going to show you how to create this product details screen. So here first you can see product image. So here we have the carousel, and with the carousel we can see the pagination indicator, and with that here we are seeing the number is getting changed accordingly, right? And after that we have this rating section, and then we have the title and all the other details. Along with it we have the product variations and all. And if you pay attention, let's visit another product. So here you can see we are presenting the product details with a beautiful animation, right? So all these things I'm going to show you today in this tutorial, and along with that I'm going to show you how to create other screens as well. So here you can see we have this explore screen, then we have the notification, and after that we have the cart. So here in the cart we can see this is how cart screen is designed. So here we have the product details and the price. With that we have this trash icon, and then the quantity control, and then the bookmark icon or favorite icon, right? So that's how all the products is being presented here in the cart. And at the bottom we can see we have the checkout button and the total amount. So that is the cart screen. And finally we have the profile screen. So this is a basic profile screen. Here we have the user image, then the name of the user, and then few buttons related to the user profile. So that is what we are going to create today in this tutorial. And as I mentioned, this is the second part. So if you haven't seen the first part yet, then I would highly recommend you to first see that tutorial, and then you can follow along with this tutorial. I will provide the link of that tutorial in the description below, or you can check it out from the I icon of this video. So if you are interested in these kinds of tutorial, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new tutorial on this channel. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Okay, so here is our project, and previously we have created this homepage, and here as you can see, if I am clicking on this item, then they are not clickable. I am not presenting with any new screen, which is detail screen of the product, and then here we don't have anything for these screens either. Here for this tutorial I have added some data to our JSON file. So here you can see I have added this cart information, cart data. So here we have the cart information, and then after that we have the notification information. So this will be needed for these two screens, and I have already provided those details in the starter template. So here you can see in the data I have added those JSON. So here you can see the notification and the cart. So from here you can get the details, and also along with it I have provided the types for these things as well. So here you can find the types, but types are pretty easy to create from the JSON data. So that's why I haven't provided that here in the project. I have provided the JSON data, and when I will create those screens, that time I will create the types. So that is what I have added for this tutorial. Now let's start creating these screens, and first I want to create the detail screen of the product. And for that, here within the app directory I want to create a directory called product details, and within that I will create id tsx like this, and let me close it. So now after creating this product details, we need to connect this. Now from the product item we can get it. Here this is the product item, and here we will provide the link to this new product details screen. And if you haven't seen the first part of this tutorial, then I would highly recommend watch that tutorial first and then come to this tutorial. Then it will be helpful to you, because in the first part I have already created all these things, all these files and all, so you will get to know all of this. And in this tutorial I am starting from that stage, and I have already provided that link in the description below, and also you can find that tutorial from the I icon of this video. So now let's start here. So first I'm going to provide link, and here for the link I want to provide href, and here it will be product details and then the ID, the item ID, which I will pass for this ID in the bracket, right? And I need to provide touchable opacity, and this touchable opacity needs to be imported from React Native. So it is imported from React Native, and now we need to close these two. So here, after closing the animated view, I'm closing the touchable opacity first and then the link. Now let's save it. Now after saving, let's click here. So here I can see the product details. Now let's get the product ID here. So here, by the help of the use local search params hook from export outer, I can get the ID. Let's pass it here. So here we can see product details 30, 29, 31, right? So we are getting the product ID perfectly fine here. Now we need to get the product information, and for that let's create a function called get product details, and it will be an async function, and here we need to call the API. So first we need to configure the URL, and the API URL would be this sell product or products, and then with that we can provide the ID. So let me just copy it and paste it here. So here we can see all the products listed for this API endpoint. Now if I want to have only one particular product details, then it will be /30. So this particular product I want to get the information. So let's provide that. So here I'm getting the response for only that particular product, right? So this will be our API endpoint. So that is what we need to provide here. So here it will be sell products, then after the slash we need to provide the ID like this. Now after the API endpoint we need to get the response, and to get the response I need to use Axios. So this Axios needs to be imported from Axios. Then let's provide the URL here. Now we need to output the response in the console log, and now let's call it in use effect hook. So this use effect needs to be imported from React, and here let's call the get product details function. Now save it. After saving, here we can see the output. So let me provide product details text here, and then let's click on any product. So here we can see the response product details, right? So it's working perfectly well. Now we need to start design it. To design it, first we need to create a state called products, and here I need to call the use state. I will import it from React. So this product we need to set here. So it will be set product, and we will set it by the response data. Now after setting it, here we can get the product details. Let me first display product title, and here we need to specify the type. So it will be the product type, which needs to be imported from our types. So here we have product type listed, right? So I have exported it, and now I can get the suggestion. So I will have the product title. So now let's check, and here it is working perfectly well. Now first we need to display the product image carousel. For that, first I'm going to create a component here, and that would be image slider. And now let's save it, and here let's import that image slider. Here I have imported it. So here it is. Now I need to give a checking. If the product is set, then we will display the image slider. So here let me provide that, and let's get rid of it here. And here as a prop I will get the image list. So let me check the data. So here for any kind of products we are getting the images, multiple images. Okay, so for that here I will take the image list, and the type for images is string type, array of string. So it will be array of string. So here let me pass that prop, and here it will be product images. Okay, and here it is showing the error because here also we need to provide this kind of check. So let me provide that check. If product is available, then we will display the product title text. Okay, now save it. So now we are not having any kind of error. Now let's get the image list here, and let's create that image slider. So here instead of this text, let's first provide the flat list, and for the flat list data I will provide image list. Then for the render item I need to provide the item, and within this view I will provide the images. And for this image source URI I will provide the item, and for the style of it I will provide width 300 and height 300. And now image is not imported, that's why it is showing the error. So now I have imported it from React Native. So here are the images. Now let's make it horizontal. Let's provide show horizontal scroll indicator as false, and now after that I need to provide paging enabled so that it snaps properly. Now for this view, this wrapper view, I will provide style. For this style I need to provide a full width, so I need to get the width. It will be const width, and I will get it from dimensions. So dimensions get screen width. So I will set this view style. Width will be the width which we have just got from dimensions, and then I will provide justify center and align item center. So now here it is properly visible. And here with this image I will provide a border radius which will be 10 pixel. So now it is looking little bit better. And with this I want to provide some more customization for the paginations and all. And for the pagination, let me first create the pagination component here. Let me create that file pagination.tsx, and here I can provide that pagination, and this needs to be imported, and I will change the path to components pagination. So here is the pagination, and for the pagination we need to get some props. We will need to get the items, and that will be the image list which we have here. So that will be the array of string, and after that we will require pagination index, and it will be a number. So now save it, and here we need to pass those. So first we have item, and for the item we need to provide image list, and then we have pagination index. And for the pagination index, currently we don't have any number. We need to get the number. When we will scroll, that time we need to update the number. Later I will provide that, but right now it is 0. So now save it. After that, here let's create that pagination dot. So here first I will provide the style container. So let me create the container style. First I will provide flex direction row, and for the height of it I will provide 60. Then I need to provide justify center and align item center. So it is a perfect position. Now after that, instead of this text, let's provide props items, and let's map through each of the item which we are getting here. So for the items we can get the item and index, and then let's render a view. And for this view, first we need to provide key which will be unique. So that would be our index which we are getting here. Then we need to provide this style. and this style will be for our pagination dot. So let me provide name here as pagination dots, and within this view we don't need anything, so it will be self-closing component. Now let's create that pagination dot here. So for the pagination dot width I will provide 30, for the height I will provide 4, and for the margin I will provide 3. Then for the border radius let's provide 5, and here let's provide a color. Let me provide a background color, and for the background color I will get the color from our colors constant, and there we have the primary color. So here in the colors constant we have different colors that I can get here. So that is how it is looking right now. So this will be our selected items color. So instead of this, let me use this gray color. So now it is looking good that nothing is selected. I need to provide the pagination index so that it renders dynamically. So now here I need to update the pagination index. So for that I need to provide viewability config callback pairs, and let me create a reference for that with the same name, and I need to use ref here as this will be a reference, and here we need to provide the viewability config and on viewable items changed. Now let me create these two. First I will create viewability config, and let me provide that configuration item visible percent threshold 50. Then let's create this on viewable item changed, and here it will take viewable items as prop, and it will be type of view token which needs to be imported from React Native, and it will be array of it. Then we need to check if viewable items 0 index not equal to undefined, and viewable items 0 index not equal to null. If this is the case, so if this condition met, then we will set the pagination index. To set it we need to create a state of it. So it will be pagination index, set pagination index, and it will be use state which needs to be imported from React, and by default the value is set to 0. Now here I need to set the pagination index, and it will be viewable items 0 index image list dot length. So by this we are setting the pagination index. So here for this viewable config callback pairs we need to set this. So it will be viewability config callback pairs dot current to point to this reference, and by this we are going to update the pagination index. So here I can provide the pagination index. Now save it, and here we are getting the pagination index. So here I can provide the color dynamically, the background color dynamically. Let's check if props.pagination index is matching with the index. If it is matching with the index, then we will set the colors to primary color, otherwise it will be our gray color which we have used. Now save it. So now I can see that it is being colored. Now it is working perfectly well, right? And for the scrolling, here I can provide scroll event throttle as 16 for smooth scrolling. Now as I have provided the pagination dots here properly, I need to provide the number. Here we have the number for the pagination. So now I can create that after this view. So let's create another view, and here let me get rid of this background color because this background color is doing nothing, as here we are providing the background color dynamically, right? Now for this view let's provide a style, and let me name it as pagination number container. Then let's create another view for pagination number box, and within it I will provide the text, and this text would be kind of like this 1 by 3. So out of 3 it is 1 or 2 or 3. So right now it would be 3 by 3, and this one would be 1 by 3, right? So let me create the pagination number container, and for the position of it, it will be absolute. Then for the align items, it will be flex end. For the width of it, I will provide 100%, and then for the padding right, I will provide 20. So that's how it is positioned here. Now after that, we need to design this box. This positioned it. Now we have this box, so now we need to design it. So here let's provide a background color, and the background color would be, I will add another color in our colors constant. So here I will create extra light gray, and here I will provide this color. Now save it. Now let's close it. So here let me call that extra light gray. Now after that, let's provide padding horizontal 8. For padding vertical, I will provide 2. Let me provide the border radius here. I have made the mistake here. Okay, so that is the color. I haven't provided the hash here before, so that's why it was not working. Now it is working. Now we need to provide the style for the text. It is pagination text. So for the pagination text color, it will be primary color, and for the font size of it, I will use 12. And now it needs to be dynamic. So here first for these 3, I will provide props dot items dot length. So length of the item, and here it will be the current pagination index. So it will be props dot pagination index. Now save it. So here we can see it is starting from 0. That is okay for the functionality, but to display it, we need to make it +1. So now it is fine. So this image slider is complete. Now after this image slider, we need to provide other details of the product. So for that, here I'm going to provide all the details, and that would be within a view, and I will name it as container. And then after this image, we will have the product rating. Let me create the view, and that view would be for rating wrapper, and within it we need to provide the rating. Let me create the container. So first for the container, I need to provide padding horizontal, and it will be 20. Now for the rating wrapper, I will provide flex direction row, align item center, and justify content center. Then for the margin bottom, I will provide 5 pixel. And now after this, I need to provide the style for the rating. But before that, before the rating, I need to provide an icon. So I will import the icon from vector icons. Then let's provide star icon, and the size of it 20, and this is the color which I will provide for the icon. And here within the rating wrapper, I will provide another icon here, which will be the favorite icon or bookmark icon. So that's why here I need to provide a view to wrap this rating review section, and then here I need to provide the heart icon, and I need to wrap it with touchable opacity. So now it's looking good. Now for this view, I will provide rating wrapper style. So now it's looking good. Now for the star icon, I will provide 18, and for this one I will provide 20. Now let's provide the style for this rating, and this one would be for this text. So here first it will be margin left 5. For the font size, I will use 14. For the font weight, I will use 400, and for the color, I will use gray color. So now it is looking good. Now with the rating, I will provide number of ratings. So here I can provide any kind of number. Let's provide 136. So now after this rating wrapper, I need to provide the product title. For that, I don't need any view, but I will need the text, and that will provide the product title. And this text style would be title. So let me create the title here, and for the title font size, I will provide 20. For the font weight, I will use 400. Now for the color, I will provide black color, and let's provide a letter spacing 0.6. So now it is looking good. And for the line height, let me provide this 32. After this title, we will have the information related to the price of the product. So after this text, let me create a view, and this view would be the price wrapper, and here I will provide the product price with the $sign. For the style of it, I will provide style price. So here let's create the price wrapper. I will provide flex direction as row. For the align items, I will provide center. For margin top, I will provide 10, and then I will provide a gap of 5 pixel. And let's provide price. So for the price font size, I will provide 18. For font weight, I will provide 600, and for the color of it, I will use black color. Now with the price, I will provide the discounted information and the percentage off. So here this is the price. Now after the price, I will create a price discount section that will be a view, and within it I will provide the discount text. It will be like this. Let me provide the style for this view, and I will name it as price discount, and for the text style I will name it as price discount text. So let me create the price discount. So for the background color of it, I will first provide the extra light gray color. Then let's provide a padding 5 pixel. Now then let's provide a border radius of 5. Now after that, let's provide price discount text style. For it, I will use font size 14. For the font weight, I will use 400, and for the color of it, I will use primary color. So that's how it is looking right now. And beside this price discount, I will provide the previous price. So right now we don't have any previous price, so I will just take the current price and I will add 2 to it. And let's provide a style for this text, and it will be old price. So that is the price, and let me provide style for the old price. I will provide font size of 16. Let's provide a font weight of 400, and here for the text decoration I will provide line through so that it will be strike off. Okay, like this. And let's provide a color here which will be the gray color. Yes, now it is looking good. Now after this price information, I need to provide the product description. Now let's provide the style for it. Let's create this description style. So first I will provide margin top 20, then I will provide font size 16 and the font weight and the color, and after that let's provide a letter spacing 0.6, and for the line height I will use 24. So now it is looking good. Then after this product description, I will provide few product variations such as color and sizes. So right now as I am creating the UI, I will just provide color and size here. With this UI for actual data, you can create various kind of variations. So after this text, let's create the view, and it will be product variation wrapper. Then after that, here we will have product variation type, and for the product variation type, here we need to provide the text. So it will be a color, so it will be product variation title, as it will be product variation color. So similarly we will have product variation size as well. So I have just copied it, and now let me create these styles first, and then after the title we will have different kind of variations. So for the color we will have different kind of variation component. For the size we will have different kind of variation component. So I will create those in a minute. First let me provide the styles for these. For the product variation wrapper, first I will provide flex direction row. Then for the margin top I will provide 20. For flex wrap I will provide wrap. Now after that let's create product variation type, and here first I need to provide width 50%. So it is like this. Then let's provide a gap of 5 pixel and margin bottom 10. Then for the product variation title, let's provide font size 16, font weight 500, and the color would be black. So now it is looking good. Now let's provide the variation component. So first it would be for color. So here first let me create a view which will hold the different kind of variation value. So I will name it product variation value wrapper, and within it I will create the value of the color. It will be product variation color value. Now let's create these styles. So first it will be flex direction row, then let's provide align item center. For the gap I will provide 5. Now let's create product variation color value, and for it I will provide height and width 30. For border radius I will provide 15 to make it rounded, and for the background color I will use colors extra light gray. So here is the color variation. So let me copy it multiple times. Okay, so that's how it is. And here as we are saying that it is going outside of its size, so I need to provide flex wrap as wrap so that it goes at the bottom. Right now it is not properly visible because I have just provided a subtle color here. The actual color I will provide here. So here let me provide a background color. So now it is looking good. So similarly let me provide the colors for each of these. So that's how it is looking right now. And for the selected color I will provide some style. So let me create a view, and this view would wrap the selected color. I assume that this one would be the selected color. So let me provide this style, and for the real values we can set it dynamically, right? So let me provide the border color, and this color would be our primary color. For the border width I will provide 1. For the border radius let me provide a bigger number, and for the padding I will provide 2. Now save it. So here we can see a ring which is indicating that it is the selected one. Now after that here we have the size. So similarly we can create the different variation value for the size. So here first we need to provide the variation value wrapper, and then we will create the variation size value, and with that we need to provide the size value text. So different size value text I have provided here. So now let me create this product variation size value and size value text style. So here for the width I will provide 50. For the height I will provide 30. For the border radius I will provide 5, and then for the background color I will provide extra light gray, and the justify center and align item center. So here that is how it is looking right now. Now for the text let's provide font size 12, font weight 500, and the color black. And here with it let me provide a border color light gray and a border width 1. So now it is looking much more prominent. Now for the selected one let me provide a different style. For the border color I will provide primary color. Okay, so this one is selected right now, it is much more prominent. And similarly for the text also let me provide a color primary color, and let's provide a font weight bold. So now we can say that it is looking good, that it is being selected. And right now we are seeing a problem that we cannot scroll it, so that we can fix easily by providing scroll view here instead of this view. So this scroll view needs to be closed here, and this scroll view needs to be imported from React Native. Okay, so now it is looking good. Now with that this design is complete. Now I want to customize this top. So for that let me provide React fragment here, and here let's provide stack screen to customize our header. So this stack needs to be imported from export outer. And now here for the options, first I need to provide the title, product details, then I will make the header transparent, so set it to true. So now it goes on top of it, so we need to provide a margin here, and for that we need to get the header height, and we can get the header height from React navigation elements. We can get use header height hook, and from this hook we can get the header height. Now for this scroll view style, we need to provide margin top header height. So now it is looking good. Now with that I need to provide header left, and here I need to provide icons icon. I will provide arrow back. For the size of it I will provide 24, and for the color of it I will provide black color. So now it is looking good, but it is not functional, so I need to provide the functionality to go back to previous screen, and that I can provide by touchable opacity, and it will be like this. So on press router back, and this router needs to be imported from export outer. Okay, we can get this back function from this router. So now if I click here, then we are back to our previous page, right? So that's how it is. And now for the header right, here also let's provide a touchable opacity, and here let's provide cart icon. So that's how it is, right? So now it is looking good. The screen is almost complete. We are just left with one element, which will be the buttons at the bottom. And for that, here after this scroll view, we need to create a view which will be button wrapper, and then we will have the touchable opacity. Then let's provide style, and it will be styles.button wrapper. Similarly here it will be styles.button. Then it will be a text add to cart, and that needs to be wrapped within the text. Okay, so similarly we will have two buttons like this. So now let's create this button wrapper. So here for the button wrapper, let me provide position absolute. For the height of it I will provide 90. For padding I will provide 20, and it will be bottom 0. And for the width of it I will use 100%. For the background color I will provide color white. For the flex direction I will use row, and then I will provide a gap of 10 pixel. Now after that let's create the button. So first it will be flex 1, so that both of these button gets equal size. For the background color I will provide primary color. For the height of it I will use 40, and then justify content center, align item center, border radius 5, and I will provide gap 5 as well. So that's how it is looking right now. And for the text I need to provide the button text. So let me create the button text here, and here for the font size I will provide 16. For the font weight I will provide 500, and this is the color which I am providing, which is white. So let me provide the style here. So it will be button text. So now it is looking good, but I want to change the style of this particular button, so I can provide that customization here. So here let me provide a background color white. For the border color I will provide primary color. For border width I will use 1. Now for this text also let me provide a different style, which will be the primary color. So now it is looking good. Now let me change the text of this as buy now. So this is the buy now button, and this is the add to cart button. And for add to cart button I will provide icon, and the icon would be the cart outline. The size is 20 and the color is black. Okay, let me change the color to primary color, and for the button let me provide flex direction row. So now it is looking good, right? And with this I want to provide a shadow here. So here first I can provide elevation 5, so this one will work for Android, and then I can customize the shadow for the iOS by providing the shadow color as black, and then shadow offset, shadow opacity, shadow radius, all of this information. So now save it. So with this here I have provided a beautiful shadow which is looking pretty good. So now with that we are completed with the design of this. And now if I look here, then I can see that this product variation section is not properly visible, and that is because it is having the full height, and at the bottom we have this section which is blocking that particular space. So we need to provide some margin bottom to this scroll view. So here let's provide a margin bottom, and that margin bottom would be similar to the height of this footer section, and that is 90. So now save it. After saving, here we can see that now it is showing perfectly, right? So for the other products also, let's see. So it is working perfectly well, right? Now it is working perfectly well for this section. Now let's go to another section. So here if I see this product, then we are seeing some warning, and here we can see that it is a warning from Axios, and the status code is 404. So that means not found. And why is that? And let me check. So this is for all the products in this section, right? But for these products, here we can see the products properly. And why is that? And that is because here we are getting the response from the sell product. We are not getting response for the normal products, which is here. So that is being handled here in this index file in the tabs directory. So here we can see we have the flash sale products and the product list product, and for both of the products we have the sell products and the products, which is a different kind of things. So here we are having the products which is a different endpoint, and for the sell products we have different endpoints. And here also we can see that we have the sell products and the products endpoint. So these are the two different endpoints from which we are displaying the data here, right? So we need to handle that. We need to handle this API call dynamically, and that we can do from here. So here we are passing the ID. So we are passing the ID parameter to the product details screen here. So from here we need to pass another parameter which will be the product type. So here in the href we need to pass multiple parameters. So when we need to pass the multiple parameters, that time we cannot provide href like this. We need to configure it differently. So let me delete it, and here we need to provide the path name, and here the path name would be product details / ID like this, and this is the same as the file name as we have provided here, right? It is not the ID, the actual ID which we were providing previously. That was providing the value of that ID, which was the parameter. But right now we are customizing the parameters, so that's why here we need to provide the path name, and path name will include the file name as it is. Okay, now we need to provide the parameters, and that we can provide as params, and here within this curly bracket we can provide the parameters, and first parameter would be the ID, and that would be item ID. So we are passing the ID for this one. Right now this is the same as we have provided previously. Now we need to provide another parameter which is the product type. So we need to pass the product type here. So we need to get the product type first. So here for the type definition, let's define the product type, and the product type would be string. So let me check here. In the index we have the sell product and the normal product. So these are the two types of product we are displaying, and for that we want to have this product type. So by providing the string type definition, we can provide any kind of string here, but we don't need it, and that will make it more confusing. So to make it simple and error free, we can define the product type here so that we can provide product type only those two. So here let me do that. So first we will have the cell product type, and the another one would be regular. So these are the two product type which we can pass as a prop to product item component. So here let's take the product type prop, and here we need to pass that parameter. So we are passing the product type parameter to the product details, that means in the ID, but we need to provide this product type value. So here we have the flash cell. So let's go to the flash cell. So here in the flash cell we have the product item. So for the product item we need to provide the product type, and here we can see we have only two options available, regular and the cell, which we have defined. If I provide any kind of other string, then it will display an error, right? And that is exactly how I wanted. That's why I have provided the product type definition like this, right? Now set the product type properly here. So that is the cell product type. Now save it. Now the flash cell is complete. I can close it. Now let's go to product list, and this one would be for this section. Okay. So here for the product list, here we have product items in two sections. First we need to provide product type regular, and for this one also we need to provide regular. So now let's see, this one is working perfectly well as it was working before, right? But let's see this one. Okay, it is still showing some error. Yeah, it will display the error because I have defined the product type, but I haven't called the API dynamically. So here we need to get the parameter. So let me go back and close this one. Now here we need to get the parameter, and that parameter is product type, and based on the product type, here we need to provide the API endpoint dynamically. So here let's check for the product type. If the product type is equal to cell, then we will have the cell product endpoint. Otherwise we will have this products endpoint. So we have provided it dynamically. Now let's save it. Let's see. So it is working perfectly well now, right? So it is working for this flash cell section, and for this section also it is working perfectly well, right? So that's how we can get different type of product. Now if I see different products, then I can see that the screen is designed completely and all the things are appearing properly, but it is displaying all the information suddenly. I want to make it little bit more beautifully presented. I want to provide some animation to it. So I want to provide animation to all of these components separately. So that means for this image slider, I want to provide animation to it. I want to provide animation to this section, this title, this price, this description separately. So let's provide that. So for this first section, I need to provide the animation, and that I can provide by animated from React Native reanimated. So now let's wrap this image slider with animated view. So that's how I have wrapped it. And now here let's provide the animation, and the animation I want to provide is fade in down, and this fade in down is also needs to be imported from React Native reanimated. In fade in down, let's provide a delay 300 millisecond, and then duration for the animation would be 500 millisecond. Now let's save it. So that's how it will appear. Now after that, I want to provide animation in this section, so that is the rating wrapper. So here instead of view, it would be animated view. Let's close that, and here let's provide the entering animation, and here also it will be fade in down animation. here I want to provide a delay, and this delay would take little more time. So here first I have provided 300 millisecond. For this one I will provide 500 millisecond. Then for the duration I will provide the same duration, which is 500 millisecond. So now if I check, then first it is appearing this section, then it will appear the next section. Okay, so that's how it is appearing. So similarly I want to provide the animation for this title. So let's provide animated text. Let's close that, and here let's provide the entering animation, and for this one also it will be similar kind of 200 millisecond more delay. So previously I have added 500, here it is 700. The duration is the same for the animation. Now save it. So now let me provide the animation, the similar kind of animation for all of these components quickly. So here for the section also it would be animated view. Let's close that, and here it would be entering animation, and here the delay would be 900 millisecond. The duration would be the same. After that, animated text. Here I have provided 900, then 1100. Then for this product variation complete section I will provide single animation, and it needs to be closed here, and here it would be fade in down delay 1300. Okay, so now let's see. So that's how it is appearing, right? So it is looking pretty good in my opinion. But right now if I look into this bottom part, then we can see that it is already present, but I want to provide an animation to it also. So let's go to this section, and this one would be animated view, and here let's provide entering animation. But for this one I will not provide the same animation, I will provide a different animation which is slide in down, and this one also needs to be imported from React Native reanimated. Now let's provide a delay here, and for this one I will provide 500 millisecond delay. It will not synchronize with other sections, it will appear independently and it will have little bit of delay, so that's why I have provided 500 millisecond. Now let's provide a duration, and the duration would be 500 millisecond. Now save it. So now let's see. So that's how it is appearing, right? And it is looking good in my opinion. So that's how we have done this complete section. Now we need to work on other screens. So first we have the explore screen. Now let's work into it. So for that we need to go to the explore tsx file, and here we need to create that. So here for this explore screen, first we need to provide the flat list, and this flat list needs to be imported from React Native. Now for the flat list data, I need to provide the data, and data will come from the categories. So it will be similar to the categories which we have created on the home screen. So here I can copy this code and paste it here, and here I don't need this is loading, and let's import this Axios, and here we need to create the categories state. So let's create that categories state, and it will be type of category type. So we need to import the category type, and let's import the use state from React as well. So it is the array of category type, so there will be multiple categories, right? So let's provide the categories as data, and then for the key extractor I need to provide the item ID to string, and then finally we need to render item. So here for the render item I can get the item and index like this, and then I can output the result for each of the item. So here first I want to provide the item name. Now save it. Now after saving we are not seeing anything, and that is because we are not calling the get categories. We need to call the get categories in use effect hook, and this use effect hook needs to be imported from React. So now within this use effect hook, let's call the get categories function. Now save it. Now after saving, here we can see item names are present. So now we need to design it. So here we are providing the data, but first I need to provide a header here, and for that here I can provide a React fragment, and within it let's provide stack from export outer, and for the screen options I can customize the header. So first let's provide header shown as true to display the header, and I will make this header as transparent. Let's set it to true as well. So now we can see that it is now going to the top, but we are having the header. Now I need to fix that, and I can do that by getting the header height, and I can get the header height from use header height, and this use header height hook needs to be imported from React navigation element. Okay, so now for this container view, let's provide margin top header height. So now it is looking good. Now for this container, I don't want these styles. Instead of it, I will provide padding horizontal 20. Now here for this render item view, I will provide a style called item wrapper, and here I want to provide the image. The image needs to be imported from React Native, and for this image source URI I will provide item image, and for the style of it I will provide width and height 100 pixel. So here we can see the image. Now let's provide some style for the text, and it would be item title. So now let's provide the item wrapper style first. So here it would be flex direction row. Then for the justify center I will provide space between. For the align items I will provide center. For background color I will provide colors, and this color needs to be imported from our colors constant, and the background color would be extra gray. Now I want to provide a padding of 10 pixel. Then let's provide a border radius of 10, and finally a margin bottom of 20. So now we can see that it is looking good. Now let's provide some style for the item title. So it would be font size 16. Then for the font weight I will use 500, and for the color I will use black color. And for this let's provide a border radius of 10. Now it is looking good, and with that I don't want to provide this scroll indicator, so that's why I will provide vertical scroll indicator as false. So now it's looking good. So the explore screen is done. Now let's go to the notification screen, and for the notification it will also be similar like this. So here also we need to provide the stack screen and this margin top header height. So I can copy these things from here, and let's provide it here, and let's import it from export outer. So now it is looking like this, and after that let's get the header height from use header height, and let's import that use header height from React navigation elements. And now let's get rid of these styles. So now let's provide that margin top header height. Okay, and for this one also I will provide padding horizontal 20. So the basic structure is done. Now for the notification we have this notifications endpoint. From that we need to get the notifications data. So here let's create get notifications, and it will be an async function, and here the URL would be this notifications, which is this one. Now let's get the response, and for the response we need to provide await, then Axios get URL, and this Axios needs to be imported from Axios. So we got it. Now let's output the response in the console. So this is our console, notification response. Okay, and we need to call this in use effect. After saving, here we can see notification response. It is working perfectly well. Now we need to create a state and let's call it notifications, and we can set notifications like this, and here let's provide use state hook, and by default it will be an empty array, and here we need to provide the type of it. Okay, within this angle bracket we need to provide the type of it, and here within the type, here I haven't provided the type yet, so I need to create that, and that I can create from the data. So I can copy the data, and let's open the command palette, and here I'm going to use this JSON to TS convert from clipboard. So in the clipboard I have already copied the JSON data. Now with this extension I can create the type definition of it easily. So here it has been created. Now let's make it notification type, and I need to export it. Now similarly, let me create another one which is the cart. So let me copy it, and here similarly let's convert from clipboard JSON to TS. So here I will name it as cart item type, and let's export it as well. So these are the types which will be required, and I have created it now. Now I can close it. So here for this notification I can get notification type from our types file, and it would be array of it. Now let's set the notification with the response data. Now instead of this text I need to provide flat list, and this flat list needs to be imported from React Native. Let's provide the data, and the data would be the notification. Then for the key extractor let's provide the item ID to string, and then let's provide render item. Here we will get the item and index. Let's output the item title first. So here it is. So with the title I want to display the message. Then here we can see we have the timestamp. So with the title it will display the timestamp and the message, and let's provide an icon. I will provide icons, and for the icon I will provide notifications outline, and the size of it would be 20, and here we need to import the colors from our colors constant. So that is the icon, and let's wrap this section with another view, and let's name it as notification info. Let's call this as notification wrapper, this complete wrapper view, and this view which is holding the icon, let's name it as notification icon. So now let's create the notification wrapper first. So for the notification wrapper, first it would be flex direction row. Then for the align items I will provide center. For padding I will provide 10. For margin bottom I will provide 10 as well. So now it is looking like this. Now let's provide a border and background color here. So first let's provide a border width, and for the border width I will provide hairline width. For the border color I will use light gray. For the background color I will provide extra light gray, and for the border radius I will use 5 pixel. So that's how it is looking right now. Now for the notification icon, let's provide width and height 40 pixel. We need to provide justify content center, align item center. So now it is looking good. Now I need to position these three text properly. So here first we need to provide the title, and at the right side we need to provide the timestamp, and then we will have the notification message. So for that, here we have the notification info, and these two things we need to wrap within another view, and this thing needs to be like this. Now let's provide style for this title, so it would be notification title, and then let's provide notification message. So let's create the notification info. So the notification info would be flex 1. Now it is taking full available space. Now let's create notification title. For the notification title, I will provide font size 16, font weight 500 and the color black. For the notification message, the font size would be 14, but for the color I will use gray color. Okay, now I want to provide a margin top 5. For line height I will use 20. So now it is looking good. So the similar kind of style I can provide for timestamp as well. So let me provide that here. So now it is also looking good, but they are not properly aligned. So for that, here I can make it align center. So now it is properly aligned, right? Now I want to increase the number of notification here so that it looks good. So now I have increased the number here. Now let's reload it. Okay, so that's how it is looking right now. So now for both of these screens, I need to provide some animation, and that I can provide here by making it animated view. So this animated needs to be imported from React Native Reanimated. Now let's close it here. Now let's provide the entering animation, and here I will provide fade in down animation, which needs to be imported from React Native Reanimated. And then let's provide a delay, and here the delay would be 300 millisecond plus index multiplied by 100. So that means it will dynamic the delay for each of the item. And then let's provide a duration 500 for the animation. So now let's reload it. So that's how it is appearing. So it is dynamic by this index multiplied by 100 plus with this 300. For the first item it will delay 300 millisecond. Then for the second item it will add index multiplied by 100 to this 300. So that's how it is appearing, right? Now let's provide similar thing for the explore as well. So here let's provide animated view, and let's provide entering, and here it will be fade in down, delay 300 plus index, and duration would be 500. Let's import it from the React Native Reanimated. Now let's save it. So that's how it is appearing, right? So it's looking good. Now let's create the cart screen. So here first we need to get the cart items. So for that let's create the function called get cart data, and it would be async function. And here let's first create the URL for the API call, and here we have the URL, this cart that I have used over here. Now after that we need to get the response, and for this response we need to await, and then we need to import Axios from Axios, and then let's get the data from the URL. Let's output it in the console. Now to call it we need to get the help of use effect hook, and this use effect needs to be imported from React. Now let's call it within this use effect hook. So now here we should get the response. So let's name it as cart data. So we are getting the cart data response here. So this is working perfectly well. Now let's create a state called cart items, and now I need to set the cart items. Let's get the help of use state hook to create this state, and here it would be type of cart item type, and it would be array of it. After that let's set the cart item with the response data, and now here we can output it in the flat list. For the data we need to provide cart item. For the key extractor we need to provide the item ID to string. Now after that let's provide render item, and here let's output the item title. So here we can see that now instead of this text I want to display another component, and that is called cart item. And here I will take the item prop, and this item prop would be type of cart item type. So here let's provide the item title. So instead of this text title, here I will call the cart item, and for the cart item I will pass the item. So now still it is the same, so that's fine. Now let's create a header here, and for that let's import stack from export outer, and for this stack screen options header shown true and header transparent true. So here is the cart header. Now let's get the header height, and let's import this use header height hook from React navigation element. Now let's use that here. So now it is done. Now after that we need to focus into this cart item. So here first we need to provide the image, and that will be our product image. So for the item source URI, let's provide item image, and for this style let's provide width 100 height 100. So here we can see that item. Now let's get rid of this, and let's provide padding horizontal 20. After that we need to provide the information of the cart item. So for that here I will create a view, and within the view I will provide the title, and let's name it as item info wrapper, and then let's display the price. And for the price here I will provide the dollar sign. So now let's create the item info wrapper, and for the item info wrapper first it would be flex direction row, then align item center. So that style we need to provide here for this complete wrapper view. So it would be item wrapper. So instead of the item info wrapper it would be item wrapper. Now let's provide a padding 10, margin bottom 10. For border width I will provide this hairline width. For the border color I will use light gray color. Now for the border radius I will provide 5 pixel. So that's how it is looking right now. And now let's provide a style here. Instead of these two styles, let me call it item image, and let's provide the styles here. So here the width would be 100 and the height would be 100 as well. Now for the border radius I will provide 5, and for margin right I will provide 10. So now it is looking good, it is much better now. Now for the item info wrapper let's provide flex 1, and for the align self I need to make it flex start so that it would position it at the top. So now it's looking good. Now after that I will provide a gap of 10 pixel, so it is much better now. And after that I will provide style item text, and I will provide the same style for both of these. Now let's create this item text. For the font size I will provide 16. For font weight I will provide 500. For the color I will use black color. Now after that, after this pricing, here I will provide few buttons. So first I will provide a trash icon, then I will provide quantity control. So how much quantity of this particular product you want or you have chosen, that will be presented here, and you can increase and decrease it. And then here I will provide a bookmark icon or the heart icon. For that here I need to create a view, and this view would be item control wrapper, and then I will first provide the icon which will be the trash icon. So here it will be trash outline, and for the size of it I will use 20, and for the color of it I will use red color. Okay, so this touchable opacity needs to be imported from React Native. So let me delete it. Now save it. So here is the button. Right now after that I need to create a view, and this view would be the quantity control wrapper, and here I will provide the control for the quantity. So here first I will provide the touchable opacity, then within the touchable opacity I will provide icons, and for the icon name I will provide remove outline. And now let's close the touchable opacity here. Then I need to provide the quantity, so here it will be like this, and after that again we will need to provide a button like this, and it will be add outline, and it will have similar properties. So now save it, and now I need to provide a style for these buttons. It would be quantity control. So let me copy it from here and let's paste it here. So now let me create these styles first, and for the item control wrapper first I need to provide the flex direction row, so that these three would be in a row, and then I need to provide the align item center and justify space between, but right now I will comment it out. Now these two items beside each other, so that means this trash icon and this quantity control wrapper. Now after that let's create quantity control wrapper, and for the quantity control wrapper here also it would be flex direction row for these three items, align item center and a gap, and I will make this gap little bit bigger, 15. So it is applying only in these three for this quantity control, and this is the quantity control. Now after this here we have the quantity control, so that means this plus and minus button. So let's create that. So here first I will provide a padding of 5, then let's provide a border width 1, a border color of light gray, and a border radius of 5. So now these buttons are prominent. And now finally here I want to provide another icon which will be similar to this. So let me copy it from here, and after this quantity control wrapper let me provide that, and here it would be hard outline. For this one I will provide color black. Now we need to position this properly, and for that I need to use this space between. So now these are positioned properly, right? So it is working perfectly well. Now here at the bottom I want to provide the checkout button. So for that, after this flat list view I will create another view, and I will call it as footer, and here I will have two information. The first one would be the checkout button, and at the left side I will display the total amount. So here first I will have a view, and this view would be price info wrapper, and here I will provide a text total $100. So whatever the amount would be, that would be presented here. So let's provide a style. So here it is total text. Now after this view I need to create the button, the checkout button. So it would be touchable opacity checkout button, and I need to provide the checkout text. After that I need to close the touchable opacity, and it would be checkout button text. So now let's create this footer and all other styles. So here for the footer, so here we can see already we have the data present at the bottom, so we need to design it properly. So first I need to provide flex direction row so that these two items will be beside each other. Then I will provide a padding 20, and let's provide a background color white color. So now it is looking good. Now after that we have the price info wrapper, which is this total. So for this I will provide flex 1, and with that I have this checkout button. So for the checkout button also I will provide flex 1. Okay, so now they have equal space. Now after this price info wrapper we have this total text, and for the total text I will provide the font size 16, 500 font weight, and the black color. Now for the price info wrapper I need to provide a justify content center to make it center align properly. Now for the checkout button let's provide a background color of the primary color. Let's provide height 40. Then let's provide justify content center and align item center, and the border radius is 5. Now for the checkout button text, let's provide font size 16, color white, and 500 font weight. So now it's looking good, right? So that's how it is looking right now. Now for this cart data also, let me copy it and duplicate it again, and let me change the ID number like this, so that the content fills the screen properly, so that we can have a complete view how it will look for different scenarios. Okay, so here we can see that we are having a proper view of it, right? So this particular section is not blocking anything. So that's how we have completed this section. Now here also I can provide the animation similar how we have provided here. So here for this cart item, we can wrap it with animated view, and the animated will be from React Native reanimated, and let's close it here. And now for this animated view entering, let's provide the animation fade in down, and it needs to be imported, and then this thing 300 plus index multiplied by 100, so that for each of the item it becomes dynamic delay. So now save it. So that's how it is appearing. So we are done with this one also. Now finally we are left with the profile. So now for the profile screen, here also similarly we need to create the header first, so that I can create by stack screen options header shown true and header transparent as true. Now after that, let's get rid of these styles and let's provide the header height. So let's create the header height, and I need to import the use header height hook from React navigation elements, and let's use that here. Now let's provide padding horizontal 20, and then let's create a view, and within this view first I need to provide the image, and this image needs to be imported from React Native, and here I need to display the profile image. So here we can see for the bottom tab I have already provided that image, so I need to display that image, and that image is coming from these icons. So here let me copy this URL, and here let's use that like this. Now for the style of it, I will use width 100, height 100, and for the border radius it will be 50. Okay, and let's make it align item center, and instead of padding horizontal, let's make it padding, so that here also I can get some padding. Now after this image, let's provide the name of the user, and here let's provide the name John Doe. Let's provide a style username like this. Instead of 600 I will make it 500, and for the background color I will use colors black. Okay, it will not be background color, it would be color. After that we will have few buttons that I will create after this view, and I will name it as button wrapper, and let's create a button touchable opacity, and let's name it as style button, and within it let's provide a text. So first I will provide your order, and for this style I will use button text, and with it I will use an icon, and I will use this icon. Now let's save it. After saving, I need to design it. First let's create the button wrapper. I will provide margin top 20. Let's provide a gap of 10. Then let's create the button. So let's provide padding 10. For the border color I will provide light gray color. For the border width I will use 1 pixel. For border radius I will use 5. For the flex direction I will use row. For align items it would be center, and for the gap it will be 10 like this. Okay, now for the button text I will provide font size 14, font weight 500 and color black. So now it is looking good. Now I need to copy it multiple times and let me create the buttons. So after the order it will be wish list, and for the icon I will use heart outline. So let me make other buttons quickly. Okay, so that's how I have created all these buttons. So here we are completed with all of these things, right? Okay, so the product is not showing properly. Let me reload it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, it is little bit weird. We are done with it, but right now it is not showing the product details. Okay, so now it is working. Let's see. So here it is. Right, so it is working for every products right now perfectly well, and it was not working previously because I don't know what is the reason. But what I did, I can tell you that I closed the server and rerun the project again, and also along with that I have restarted this JSON server as well. So by restarting both of these server, it is now started working. So that's how we have done this project completely. So that is the tutorial, guys. I hope you have learned something new from this tutorial. If you do so, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, and let me know by commenting down below. If you have any kind of suggestion for me, then also let me know, and don't forget to share this tutorial with your friends and colleagues, and I will see you guys in my next tutorial. In the meantime, have a great day. Goodbye.